Star Wars spins off in online streaming, while Kevin Feige teases some X-rated plans for the MCU. And of course, our breakdown of this week's Ruby on the First Word. It's the season finale of Fandom Nonsense, coming up next.
Danny, sit down. Just sit. Sit, boy. He's doing it. Sit. Sit.
Park it.
Sit. Danny, fucking asshole. Sit down. Sit. Jesus. Alright. Fucking. So hard? Alright, there you go. Fucking shit.
You made it.
Alright.
Good boy.
You fucking shit.
So that's the vibe this episode is starting with.
You good fucking shit.
He's just a puppy.
He's still a pug.
Just a little fucking shit.
You little fucking shit. You little fucking shit.
I've called Falco some worse things, probably.
Like what?
I don't know. No, I don't know. I'm pretty PG with Falco, unless he's really made me mad. I yell him. I call him. I don't know. I call him vulgar things.
No,
No, I got nothing.
I mean, I've called Falco some pretty good things.
Yeah, same.
What about Scout
I think
Zach?
I called him cunt wizard once. I don't know what that means. That almost sounds like a compliment. So I don't know.
Cunt wizard.
It just flows like water.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably why I don't remember any of them, just because it's just coming out. It's flowing out.
It's like Ray.
I mean, it was pretty safe stuff. Stupid cunt,
Yeah.
Just
What did you say whenever she ate Little Green?
Oh yeah, what did she say to her? Were you just fuming with rage? Was it
Yeah.
just like shaking and like
yeah,
frothing?
he was more red than normal.
yeah, that's true. We'll save that for the post show that we won't shoot.
Fair enough. More red than normal. That's a good song title.
Are you
No, it's
writing
not.
that down?
More
No.
red, maybe.
Are you writing that down?
It sounds like
That's a good lyric, possibly.
your period is a little bit more flowy than typical.
Well, no, I'm not saving that.
Yep, this is definitely the vibe that we're starting off with. Welcome to episode 50, otherwise known as the season finale of Fandom Nonsense. I'm Zach.
I'm Aaron. What season?
3, right?
Is this 3?
Yeah.
Good God. 3. I'm still Aaron.
Who are you?
Who are you?
Serena?
Right on. Okay. And I'm also Nolan.
Did you want me to say Goose?
No, I mean,
Honk.
I thought you would say I'm,
She's-
because we all do.
I am cuts to a goose.
That's what you should do! Thank
That's
you,
what I
Zach.
did. You're welcome.
All right.
Moving on.
Oh, yeah, and
Oh,
special
yeah.
guest.
Dandelion.
Dandelion.
Just gives you on camera.
Director and...
Hey,
Now we're going to spend another 15 minutes of Nolan cussing him because he won't sit down.
Aw.
Can you not figure it out? Is that what it is? Like,
Dandy,
like, oh,
Dandy.
Sit.
sit down.
Sit.
Will you sit down?
You gotta sit.
Okay, can't take 2 people down.
There's just so many things.
It's like, but I could be a drummer. And you're just letting my dreams be dreams, Dad.
You got there. You figured it out.
Man, his little ears, one's like this now.
Yeah, he's half Dobbs.
Speaking of dog dreams and things that really have nothing to do with that at all, Kevin Feige teases plans for Fox's Marvel characters. It was reported earlier this week that Disney's acquisition of Fox could be finalized by the end of January. On the heels of this announcement, Kevin Feige appeared on Variety's Playback podcast to talk about the Marvel Studios' plans for the future. Feige has previously suggested the studio has no immediate plans to bring Fox characters into the MCU fold, but when the merger came up, he revealed plans might start to take shape sooner than expected. Quote, we've been told it's looking very, very good and could happen in the first 6 months of next year. The notion of the characters coming back is great. It's nice when a company that created all these characters can now access all the characters. It's not unusual. It's unusual not to. But in terms of actually thinking about and actually planning things, we haven't started that yet. Blah, 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 blah. So, for the longest time, Feige's really been holding out on, like, even when we get them back, we don't have any plans. We'll figure it out. Once we have them back, then we'll figure out how to work them in there. And I don't know if you've seen, but there's been some completely unsubstantiated and bullshit rumors circulating around about Hugh Jackman appearing in Endgame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was actually I dove pretty deep into that little rumor last night because they were talking about in his if you go type in his name and go search the movies that he's been in on Google, Avengers Endgame will pop up, and that's just because the search algorithm, so many people have searched for that it popped that movie up there with it.
Yeah.
And anybody with whatever a premium account or whatever can edit IMDb, so anybody can put him in that movie.
Yeah.
So that's probably not going to happen. But
you know, it is fun though. The spoonerism of Hugh Jackman is Jew Hackman, so something to take home.
The mood of this podcast. It's weird. Man, maybe that's DC's big flaw. Maybe they should have given out some of their big staple characters off to other companies earlier in the game. So if they wouldn't have had them all at the beginning of them trying to make a universe.
I've always kind of thought that with Marvel, because Marvel didn't have the privilege of making a Spider-Man movie or Fantastic Four or X-Men. And regardless of what he is now, in 2008, to the general public, Iron Man was not a well-known or well-regarded character. No. So you had to make a good movie because you were working with less recognizable characters. You can fucking cash in on a shitty Batman or Superman movie for a long time before people start to take notice because they just like those characters so much. Same with Spider-Man and the Hulk, obviously. And Wolverine. We got 2 awful Wolverine movies before we got a good one.
The second Origins one was okay.
Second Origins? There was only one Origins.
Wasn't the second one?
No, the Wolverines when he goes to Japan and fights the Silver Samurai.
Right, yeah. No, X-Men Origins Wolverine was fucking garbage. But
there were some good bits in it.
Yeah.
But overall it was garbage.
I like the Wolverine bits. I hate everything else around it.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Pretty much. Hugh Jackman's a saint. Everyone else kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know. Even the writing. I mean, it's hard to write Wolverine bad because he's already got so many iconic phrases, and you can put him into any situation, and you pretty much know how he would react. But
what are Wolverine's iconic phrases?
Bub.
That's not a phrase.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm the best at what I do is better.
You know what I mean? Like he has a very specific way of talking.
That's the first one. What's a popular Wolverine phrase? Bub.
Yeah. Hey, bub. Just calling somebody bub, you pretty much get the tenor of the conversation when you're referring to somebody as bub.
He was like one of the first Canadian superheroes ever written, or something like that. Wasn't he Canadian originally?
He's always been Canadian.
No, he was Australian in the animated little thing, wasn't he? For a small point in time.
What?
Yeah, whenever he was still brown and gold, I'm pretty sure that the voice actor for him, they first did him Australian.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Want to stick my claws in him?
It's still very early to speculate on who might preside over the new films once Disney absorbs the studio. However, a few MCU veterans might be up to the task. Ant-Man director Peyton Reed was attached to helm the original Fantastic Four before Tim Story was hired. Reed has expressed interest in taking another stab at Marvel's first family. Ant-Man co-writer Adam McKay also professed a desire to make a Silver Surfer movie. Huh. I mean, it would be between somewhere between the vibe of Ant-Man and Ragnarok or Guardians is what I would like to see in a Fantastic Four movie. Like, it needs to be maybe not the first one. Maybe the first one could work with being more grounded and down to earth, but it needs to be really, really
out there.
Yeah, vast and out there, but also like really go headfirst into the comedy and of it and everything. Not take itself too seriously.
Right. You think they should already exist, or do you think that they should do another origin? They've done 2 origin movies now.
Well, it's not like Spider-Man or Batman where the origin story is super played out. So they could get away with doing it, but I mean, it's not really necessary with Fantastic Four. They're so grandiose in scale.
Yeah.
I think
they know who they are.
What
already.
you do with the Fantastic Four is you show the origin in a very, very quick opening sequence, which gets them and Doctor Doom stuck in the fucking quantum realm or some shit, so they can actually have started in the 1960s or something, and then they fucking after the snap or something, after whatever happens, they come back in the present day, and they're adapting to their powers as they're adapting to being people from the 60s in modern day America or whatever.
That'd be neat. Another thing I would think, like, we've seen makeup and like prosthetic little shits for the Thing, and then we've gotten him full CGI. Which way would be better? Like, can we find like a good?
I think you should find a medium ground between practical effects and the CGI.
Most suits are a middle ground. At this point.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, Spider-Man and Iron Man didn't have practical suits at all in Infinity War.
Yeah.
So the technology has gotten to the point that most things are a blend, and even when they're not, it's really almost impossible to tell unless you really scrutinize over it. So it would probably be a blend. The Human Torch would be interesting to see how they pull that off, because I can't think of another character in Marvel that has that kind of, I don't want to say aura, but that kind of thing about them.
I think the nearest you could say would be the orange mysticism thing that's going on with Doctor Strange,
right?
Which was pretty convincing.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
But it's not a thing that's like constantly,
And how would they incorporate the smoke and there are a lot of like physical factors that would affect his nearby environment that would have to be thought of.
How they portray invisibility.
Right.
Yeah. I want to see Chris Evans with Johnny Storm. I know he's going to be gone after this movie, but
right.
What if he plays Johnny Storm?
That was my next thought. Yeah. Comes back, whole new contract, Johnny Storm.
I'm not really that convinced. I think that the old guard will fade away into the background,
but not necessarily die.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I feel like they'll be able to come back at some point or another.
Right.
As long as they don't get too old.
Yeah.
There you go, Robert Downey Jr. He's like he's like in his mid-40s now, isn't he? Isn't he?
40s or 50s probably.
Yeah, he's oldie.
Yeah, you hear that, Iron Man? You're old.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to hurt anybody's feelings.
Looks like you don't feel so good.
That was a fake laugh turned real. I didn't mean that for that to happen. My brain went, he did. Like, oh.
So I'm actually really surprised that they didn't put a Far From Home trailer on Spider-Verse, the new Spider-Man movie. I could have sworn that Sony would have done that. I mean, Marvel probably stopped them from doing that.
Yeah,
but
that's Marvel's bag. Moreover than it is theirs at this point. It's the only thing that they really do for the Spider-Man movies is own the rights to them now, right?
They get the money from
That's it.
all the movies. Yeah, but I mean, they got the money from Homecoming.
Right.
Like, so they still promote it like it's a Sony movie. In fact, they would rather the public not make that distinction between their Spider-Man and the Marvel Spider-Man, because if people think it's all Sony, then that'll give their other movies clout.
Right.
Like,
even though Venom not exactly on the same par as Homecoming.
Aquaman just beat Venom in the box office.
Is that surprising? I
Aquaman.
haven't seen Aquaman yet, though.
It's good.
no, I mean,
It's a good movie.
I wouldn't say it's surprising. I'd say it's a pretty fair bout.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen Aquaman to know, but just judging by both studios' like output and everything,
He beat out Solo too today. Pretty sure.
that probably wasn't that hard. That
Nah.
movie got poorly under viewed, whatever words. There were too many fucking movies that came out this May and June. The movie got overlooked. Speaking of Star Wars, though, Rogue One spinoff set to begin filming in the fall. According to TheForce.net, the upcoming Rogue One Star Wars story spinoff starring Diego Luna is reportedly scheduled to begin its production later this year in October. Luna is set to reprise his role as Cassian Andor. The new live-action series will exclusively premiere on Disney's upcoming streaming service, Disney+.
Right. Is that the Space Frenchman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are they just gonna set it before Rogue One happened?
I'm guessing so,
They pretty much have to. wouldn't
Yeah.
they?
The
It
Untitled
could be a ghost.
The Untitled series will follow the adventures of rebel spy Cassian Andor during the formative years of the rebellion and prior to the events of Rogue One. The spy thriller series will explore tales of espionage and daring missions to restore hope to a galaxy in the grip of a ruthless empire.
How is his last name spelled? Like Endor?
Like the moon.
A-N-D-O-R.
Andor.
Andor.
Andor. Man, it's probably gonna be cool, but I don't really care for it. I don't need it.
I'm way more, yeah. See, I got the whole, like, formation and rise of the Empire that I needed in Rebels. That tells that story enough for me anyway. I mean, I'm sure it'll be cool, or of the Rebellion, and like I said, I'm sure it'll be cool and all of that. But no, I'm personally way more excited about the Mercs show that's coming out, because that's more territory we haven't really gotten into. We know what happens to this guy, and that always kind of puts a damper on things. Prequels are hard to pull off, because you have to make the audience care about the circumstance instead of the character, because you know the character is going to turn out fine.
At least until,
Till the thing.
Right.
till we doesn't.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. So it's fine. Nah, I'm not that worried. Have we gotten those last seasons of that one other Star Wars animated show?
No, it's coming out with Disney Plus.
Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, speaking of things like that, Young Justice season 3 comes out in 2 days.
Nice.
That's neat.
Yeah, it is. Ooh. They're doing it weird. They're doing it in 3 episode batches every week.
Full length episodes of
Mhm. Yep, 3 22 episode 22-minute episodes every week. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like that. It's
It's the middle ground between TV and Netflix.
gives you enough to binge a little bit, but honestly, who's gonna watch more than 3 episodes and actually pay attention most of the time?
I would.
Yeah, and then you're gonna fucking wish that you had and be like, what happened after the first one?
Now just go back and do it again. I've been there. I've done that before.
Yeah. Every time I binge a show, I will typically pay attention for just a chunk of it, and then I'll lose, and then a chunk will come together again, and then I'll the next time I watch through it, I'll be like, oh, that's where that came.
Yeah.
from.
Right.
Yeah.
And it could be my crippling ADD. I don't know.
The chunks that I watch in it is like, oh yeah, I'm good for like 10 minutes, and I'm just zoned out for like the next 3 hours, and then like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You've seen me watch TV.
Yeah.
If I don't fall asleep, it'll typically be all I pay attention to until I fall asleep.
That's why I find it really, really interesting that that live streaming has become such a big thing. As like, because as TV is dying, that whole like immediacy thing of wanting to like watch something as it's happening, or have that feeling of like it being like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you don't have to like sit down at a specific time to catch your favorite show anymore.
Yeah, right.
It's like it all comes out at once, and then you watch it as fast as you can.
But that was such an ingrained part of our culture that I find it interesting that now that's dying away. It's kind of coming back with live streams and stuff like that being so popular now.
Now it's like you release it all at once, but before that, at some point, you've had like a live stream of like the first episode or something like that.
Well, like, Rooster Teeth had that whole Ruby watch on, and they showed the first episode of Genlock like a month before it's supposed to come out.
Yeah.
And like that's the only time you're gonna get to watch it until, and that's like being a kid, and like if you missed it on Saturday, you had to wait until it made its way into syndication, and you saw it on Monday through Friday again. You know, like.
Yeah, that sucked. Missing a fucking Dragon Ball Z episode on a Saturday morning, and then just like.
Unless it was a filler episode.
But that's what really fucking sucked. Was whenever you're so fucking hyped, you're so pissed that you missed it.
Oh yeah,
and you carry all that fucking emotion all through the week, and you finally get to Friday, and it shows the episode again.
And it's just Roshi talking to.
Nothing fucking happens.
Yep, you're still waiting 5 minutes for Frieza to. Yeah.
Power up.
Speaking of long form, Kevin Feige teases the long form narratives Marvel can bring to Disney Plus.
One more time? Sorry.
Kevin Feige teases the long form narratives Marvel can bring to Disney Plus. It's no secret that the Marvel shows in development for Disney Plus will be created at the hands of Marvel Studios and not the Marvel Television division. Those shows include shows for Loki, Scarlet Witch and Vision, and Winter Soldier and Falcon. And they'll see the return of the actors who played them in their feature films for the TV spinoff. Speaking with Variety, Marvel Studios President Kevin Feige talked about the potential for shows on Disney Plus, saying, "When we announce 10 movies and people ask, what about these other things? The previous stance would be, well, we only have a certain number of slots to make movies per year. That's still true, but we have another outlet that I think will be very unique and very special. We're going to tell stories for the streaming service that we wouldn't be able to tell in a theatrical experience. A longer form narrative. That's what comics are. It's about as long form as a narrative as exists, but also maintaining that theatrical experience, which is our bread and butter, and the lines around the block if you're lucky." So that's cool. First of all, it's going to be Marvel actually overseeing it, so any problems that you might have with Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and all those would be hopefully taken care of, and probably any of the grittiness that you loved about them may not be there as strongly either, but maybe, who knows. I wonder how much Disney's going to pull their punches on their original content on their streaming service, because as far as I know, they have Fox, and they have Fox Television and stuff. Yeah. So they're going to have Family Guy and Simpsons and right, exactly.
Well, Family Guy's on Hulu and
Simpsons. Now that Disney owns Fox, Disney already owned part of Hulu. Fox owned part of Hulu. Disney now owns the majority stake of Hulu.
Wow. They'll probably just leave it separate then. I wouldn't see a reason to put all of that onto.
Unless they just
want the traffic to that one specific.
Well, right. I mean, instead of taking all that traffic, it'd be easier to get two separate funds coming into one place instead of just having it all come into that one. Because people do enjoy having variety, And so, like, people like saying, "Oh, well, I've got Disney Plus and I have Hulu Prime and
that's
Amazon, the Amazon
not
bonus."
as much as they like to spend less money and
right, exactly.
I guess that's fair. Yeah,
that's already that fatigue is already setting in of like there being too many
streaming services.
Yeah.
Fucking, yeah, we could probably name like 15 if we really put our minds to it. Don't try it. I shouldn't have said that.
Damn it.
Like, I'll always have first. I'm definitely gonna have Plus whenever it comes out, and I go back and forth between Netflix and Hulu. But that's like $30 a month. But that's just the tip of the iceberg of like.
Yeah. Other than Young Justice, I can't think of another reason that I'd really care to get the DC one.
Oh, yeah, the DC.
DC one sounds like, well, never mind. All the animated movies, I own a lot of them already, but I don't have all of them. It's probably going to have, like, all of the original Batman animated series and and fucking Superman animated series and all those little, like, small, the tidbits, the meaty bits.
Sometimes it's just, like, you have to comparison shop to see, like, what amount of content and what area you want from a specific service.
I think it also shows off like new comics from like different series that you're able to like digitally like read.
Yeah. I PDFs of comics give me
anxiety.
Not anxiety. They're just like discomfort trying to read them because usually my screen is it's a landscape format. It's not a portfolio poster.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Can you not flip it?
Yeah, you probably can. There's probably the ability to flip it.
Yeah.
What?
Pop it.
Then you have to flip your screen.
No, like just to be able to go.
No. I mean, like, you have to scroll down to see more of the page because of the aspect ratio of the screen.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't just look at a page and then look at the other page. You have to like scroll down and see all the different panels, and then look at the other page and scroll down and see all the different panels, and then flip the page, and then.
Man, I was reading the Pokemon Adventures manga, and I got through the Red, Blue, and Green arc, which I've read 1,000 times, and finally got to the Gold and Silver stuff that I'd never really read much before. And finally start getting to the meaty bits, and it switches from being like this perfectly clean scan that just perfectly fits my screen to this awful like wide shot like you said I have to like move around the picture to like to read it and everything. I can see the damn binding of the book in the shot.
Like somebody just jammed it into the scanner.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what it looks like. Just in the middle of a chapter too, and it's just like that for like 50 chapters before it gets good again. So that ruined that experience for me.
Was that on that one site that you do?
It was. I think it was on Viz. I can't remember which one that was. But
God, so many sites.
Again, you should download the Viz app. First of all, the Super manga is on there. Pretty sure it's free, and the Ruby manga is free. I know the first 2 chapters are out. The third might be out by now.
Do they do DC comic stuff on there?
If
Ruby's on there.
I doubt that Viz is publishing DC comics.
I mean, I guess it's fair.
Yeah. No, still just chapter 2, but still.
That's fine. I haven't even read chapter 1.
You should. It's really, really good.
That's what I hear.
And that's a good time to say we'll be right back with the first word. Oh, well, I wouldn't. I feel like this wasn't where we were supposed to have a break. I feel like last week would have been like more like the way the resolution of this episode didn't feel like what you'd expect coming back from
expect
from
some
a hiatus.
shit
exactly.
coming on.
That said, I liked a lot of the stuff that happened in this episode.
I love
this
episode.
Character
the
development.
Mercury Emerald scene though was pretty.
Yeah, but it was really brief and anticlimactic. as far as like the action goes. But I really, really, really love that scene.
Yeah, it did. It also, established and advanced their plot to like get them more involved in what's actually happening.
The fact that Mercury's dad took his semblance from him.
Yeah, with his semblance.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't. Did he say it?
He deliberately said that.
Yeah. Oh, okay, all right.
And he was like, "That's why I got stronger, so I get my semblance back, and I never got it back."
Yeah. And then he got strong enough to murder his dad. Now he's like, "Oh, I'm all tough now. That's how you live." And then Tyrion's all like, "Oh yeah,
like, oh you're so cute. Who do toodaloo."
Tyrion sounded like Ursula from The Little Mermaid.
See, he sounded like a mix of Ursula and the Joker to me, and I never really Tyrion,
yeah.
I never really liked Tyrion that much before. Like he was, I guess, interesting, but the way he, I guess, to me, they found the character in this episode.
Yeah.
Like. Or at least they found a way to accurately portray it. He's just a pure psychopath. He just relishes in doing what he does for no other reason. He just loves doing it.
Yeah. I feel like they've hit on pretty strong on that in any spot that you've seen.
They just shown him as just a pure chaotic entity, but not with any kind of like philosophy behind his.
Or motives, really.
Yeah.
Except for like a dog like.
Yeah,
exactly.
Respect for authority,
right?
For Salem, but I think now seeing this episode, I think Salem to him is just a vehicle or like a manifestation of what he enjoys in life, which is like chaos, and she gives him that opportunity to fuck people's lives up.
Which I can't tell if he was necessarily threatening Emerald and Mercury whenever he was like, "Children, please do what will make you happy."
I think he was trying to get them to leave.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But
he probably wants to hunt them too.
Yeah.
You could see like the poison drip out of his tail.
Oh no, you couldn't do that.
Yeah. No. He couldn't do it.
No.
That's his line. His line. Yeah.
No, you can't do that. And then he's like, "Oh, you have to go off on this fucking mission." Which, why didn't Salem just tell him that? To me, it might be that Salem may have given Tyrion the order to get rid of them because she saw the doubt. She sensed the doubt in Emerald.
Yeah.
And
that's one thing I wanted to touch on before we got away from that whole scene was I've always believed in the potential of Emerald getting redemption. I've never really seen it with Mercury.
Yeah.
And I feel like this episode kind of starts to solidify that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I still hoped Mercury would be like, "Oh yeah, I guess if you're going, I will too." But now he's just like, Salem's gonna make.
Right.
Yeah.
I see like a potential. Hazel's gone right now doing what?
Whatever Hazel's doing.
Well, is he going to find Ruby?
Cinder, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Is he going to find Cinder?
I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure he's.
Okay, he might be going to find Ruby.
I'm pretty sure he's on his way to Argus.
Yeah,
because he was one of the people that talked to the Spider Lady about where they are.
Yeah.
So he's going to do that. Their Tyrion and Watts are going to
do a mystery
Atlas.
quest.
Atlas. There we go. Thank you. Over there. Yeah, to Atlas. And so that's going to leave Emerald and Mercury by their lonesomes.
No, they're going out on a mission too.
Are they?
Yeah.
It didn't say that.
He didn't say that.
No, he said that. He said that
Tyrion
Watts.
said, "I came to say goodbye."
Yeah.
We're going here, and Watts cut him off before he could say any more.
Right. I thought he told them that they had to be somewhere.
No.
Just do what
that
you
they
want.
had to be somewhere, not them,
Yeah.
but they.
Right.
But I see like a potential of Emerald actually going out on her own, maybe to go find Cinder.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mercury would probably end up going with her. I don't know if he would stay there all by his lonesome with Salem. That sounds just awful.
No, I think there's going to be a further falling out between
the two of them.
Between the two of them.
Yeah. Ooh. Mercury gets sent to hunt down Emerald.
That's what I was thinking.
That would be pretty neato.
I think Emerald is on the cusp of having one of those like nut up or shut up scenarios. Because she's just been like sort of being afraid this whole season. It seems like she just now started to like
Get some balls.
turn on the confrontation and put it on Mercury and be like, this is a fucked up situation. I'm only here because of Cinder. And then
Mercury told her the truth.
Yeah.
Which pissed her off.
And I find it interesting that right before Mercury tells her the truth, she was just about to, it seems to me, like really question what they were doing.
Right.
Yeah.
She's like, without Cinder here,
I don't know if what we're doing is, and then and that part Mercury doesn't even acknowledge.
Right.
No. That quote where he was like, your mommy didn't love you. Your mommy didn't love you, but my dad hated me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, dang.
On a lighter note, how about Pyrrha's mom?
Was that her mom?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
You could tell in the
same voice.
Oh yeah, same voice actress.
I mean, it could have been any other older female member
but
of her
but
family.
look at the way she was talking, the way
I mean,
her mannerisms. That was very
close family.
that was
I
very
thought it would either
motherly.
be like a mom or a sister.
Yeah.
And it was never established that Pyrrha had any siblings. And honestly, I don't think it would make sense for Pyrrha's character to have siblings like her. Like,
oh yeah, her whole thing was that she was a was her prodigy child.
Right.
Right.
Like the one and only.
I mean, I'm not sure what happened to Achilles' mom. Well, Achilles' mom
She was a goddess.
Yeah. So.
And they all had
No, she was
multiple
a,
names, but
She was
Was it Aphrodite?
she was a god. I don't think it was Aphrodite.
I mean, was Goldilocks' mom a bird?
What?
Exactly.
Yang, Raven. That's what Goldilocks' mom, bird.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I mean,
it's all right.
But I mean, that we just don't know about that part. We know about Achilles' mom in his fable.
And oh man, and his mom disappeared in like a really same kind of style way that they do in like seeing Achilles talk to his mom, at least in the movie Troy. Great movie. Like because Jean and her sitting there talking, and then what?
Was it Aphrodite?
I don't think it was Aphrodite.
Who was it then?
I mean,
Yeah, but like she's sitting there talking to Jean, and then Ren and Nora come walking up into the camera, and he looks at them and then looks back, and she's gone. She's just gone.
Mm-hmm.
Poof. All that's there is the bouquet of flowers.
Right.
But why?
Yeah.
See what?
I mean, that leads me to believe that there's something like going on with her.
I think that's what it's supposed to do, and why she wasn't named in the credits. But
Nereid Thetis. She was an immortal. And his father was Peleus, king of the Myrmidons.
Hell yeah!
I think it's just supposed to play up the I don't want to say the mysticism, but the ethereal nature of like dealing with the whole Pyrrha thing. Like it's supposed to keep it on like a very like sacred plane to like the leaf kind of guides him in there and everything, and he talks to her mom who just kind of shows up and disappears and everything. But it can all be kind of just it's one of the things you can take it as being providence, or you can just be like, well, she just set it down and just walked away. Yeah.
John just wasn't paying any attention.
Right.
Yeah,
she pulled
she
pulled a Batman. Like it's not that hard to conceive.
but like the whole scene, it may be more important later, but like now it was just strictly to get John to stop being a little bitch baby.
Well, but I really liked how, after 3 years of Pyrrha being dead, her death still has enough impact with the characters that it can work as the resolution to the conflict that they've been having this whole season.
Right.
You know,
Especially for Jean internally.
Mm-hmm.
He was struggling to forgive Oscar, even though he, was already starting to come to terms with the fact that Ozma was the reason that all that shit was happening. Oscar had nothing to do with it. He's just sort of a vessel for Ozma, or Ozpin, however you want to refer to him now. But it's nice to see him finally deal with that internal conflict of being like, it was my fault that Pyrrha died, and fucking Nora said it best. We heard what you said to Cinder at Haven. Fucking, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Don't do this, man.
I just imagined Nora with fucking Robin Williams' face. It's not your fault.
Nice. Sidebar, Joe Nicolosi disliked my tweet. I just have to...
He did?
Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, that makes me feel good.
You have to tell us what that tweet was earlier. Later.
Oh, earlier? Yeah.
You
okay.
can do it right now.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you earlier. No, I just asked if I was like, just got RVB 15 for Christmas. Did I hear Joe Nicolosi make a Mountain Goats reference in the commentary? What he said? He said something about the best ever death metal band out of Denton, and I was like, cool.
So he just liked it. He didn't actually respond to it.
I'm waiting. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I can hope. I still have my childish hopes. Which, by the way, I guess we can talk about that in a minute. I would like to, now that we've watched season 15 as a movie, I would actually like to kind of talk about that a little bit. But what else?
John's fucking battle armor. He looks so good.
Oscars.
That's what I meant. You said John. You said John a minute ago. Don't mess with me.
I didn't.
You did. You said John.
He did say John.
But yeah, no, he looks so good. He's got his collar popped. I love the green.
Those gloves do not match the color palette.
No,
I'm just gonna say it.
He's a kid. He's a kid who went out on his own. Let him do what he does.
They don't. But the thing that strikes me more is Oscar's demeanor in that scene.
Right. Very.
Yeah.
Ozpenny?
I see. I wouldn't say that it's Ozpenny, but it's far more confident and sure of itself than usual.
Yeah.
Like the
new digs make you feel good, man. It's like getting a haircut after a breakup.
It's true, but I'm also wondering.
You did.
I was super right just then.
Do people do that?
Yeah.
Huh. Went through 2 breakups and haven't cut my hair.
Clearly.
I can tell, buddy. Got a lot of emotional baggage on those shoulders.
No, it's probably just from here down.
Oh no, I mean, you've seen a couple scenes of him doing something like that. Like whenever the episode before we actually see the agony, you see him pacing back and forth, and he's doing it with his hands behind his back, with his back straight up and forward, like in that same sort of way. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say back on that hair topic. I was like, I've never done it after broken up with someone. I've done it during the relationship after I've decided that I'm going to.
Same thing.
Oh well.
Yeah.
That's
Jesus.
yeah.
It's fucked up.
So now you're gonna have if you decide to get a haircut, I'm not gonna sit down with no one everything's fine.
She's just gonna walk in, burst through the door, just start pacing back and
just hey buddy.
Guys, I need one of my 2 annual cigarettes. What's wrong, Nolan? What's wrong?
Goose got a haircut. Goose got her plumage cut.
Oh, that's honking bad.
I think I shaved my head completely, and then I bleached it out completely.
When?
Hmm?
When?
Before she breaks up with you.
When did I bleach it out?
I don't think I've ever been broken up with.
Damn. No wonder you're such a prude.
Prude?
What? That is the wrong word.
It is the wrong word. Ching dong chow, bro. Ching dong chow.
Okay, let's get back on track here. God.
No, sure hasn't.
Oh, but no, yeah, Oscar, even, he's still a like-minded soul. And he's been presented with a lot of these same obstacles from these previous lives I've also had to deal with. It makes sense for him to start to try to take in that
it doesn't
kind of...
I don't think he would mature overnight.
No.
Or
just randomly adopt his mannerisms.
Yeah.
I think the blend is happening more subtly than.
Ooh, Ozpin's just slowly deeting his way in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that
deep in his mind.
In fact, I wonder if the fact that Ozpin has like recessed himself into Oscar's subconscious has an effect on how all that plays out.
See, that's what I was thinking about whenever I was watching Oscar like this time around, because it's more obvious that he's having Ospins or Osmas, whatever, mannerisms, but it. What?
You said mannerisms.
Is that wrong?
That's mannerisms.
Mannerism?
Yeah.
So like glove box.
Mannerisms is like
Phonics with no lid.
So I can't.
Mannerisms is like you married the word man and aneurysm. I just make a picture of dude's brain bleeding.
You know
Or just
the
bleeding
glove box
dudes out of the brain.
in your car. You know the glove box in your car?
Yeah.
I used to call it the glove department.
Yeah.
Every
Go on
time
over to the glove
he was
I've heard the glove
in
department.
my car.
No.
Same.
Compartment. Glove compartment.
No, it's a department of
No,
gloves.
it's not. It's really not. A glove department. It's like if you're in a department store and there's where the gloves are. Like, step this way, madam. We have got some nice gloves for
Well,
you.
you're getting crazy eyes, buddy. It's you can
Words
call it,
are important.
you can call it a glove department.
Every time he entered my car. Every time he entered my car. For
That's
months.
how you want to put it.
Did you show off the glove department?
Yeah. Like, step
I
this
would
way,
say,
my God.
what smells like candy? I don't know. There might be some in the glove department. Because my car smells like candy. All the time.
You gotta make it smell good in your glove department.
It's right next to the
Oscar,
perfume department.
Ozma.
Speaking of, his gloves are bullshit. I don't like Oscar's gloves.
Oh,
I'm
it's.
sorry. I'm here.
Got
I'm saying.
got those
What
gloves
color
from
are
the
his
wrong
gloves now?
department.
Huh?
They're black, aren't they?
No, they're like
With-
bright orange. It's fucking
Well,
gross.
his previous
got
color
orange in there.
scheme was orange.
Yeah, but
the
you're supposed to use
little-
like a
he has,
burnt
like,
orange
little
with that color
accents
scheme.
on
That
his-
bright orange is
Mhm,
bullshit.
yeah.
He has
Right.
bright orange on his like coat.
They'll fix it. I have faith.
Wait, are the gloves that he has on now not the same gloves that he had on before?
I thought so. That's what I thought.
It might be, but I mean, it's just more obvious with the dark green coat.
Or maybe he
Right.
wants to have some bright hands for when people catch him.
Why would you want your attacking?
But that's your
He's a
favorite
kid,
hands to
color.
be the
man.
most
He's like what, 14?
Probably, yeah.
Man, when Ruby complimented him and he was just like,
dumb.
Yeah, like That's all that he wants in life. A little bit of rubes.
Did she compliment? She was like,
She
Oscar, what are you wearing?
That was
No, that was
Nora.
Nora. That
Yeah,
was
okay.
Nora. Nora's got like a little brother baby crush on him or some sort of weird thing. Yeah.
man, I really don't want Nora or Brent to die this season.
Wow, what a change.
I think Crow is more like.
No, Crow's not gonna die this season. They're addressing it. They're addressing him too negatively for him to die. He needs to have a good like big uplift before they kill him off.
I mean, he might just like redeem himself and then die.
No, well that'll be way too poor for this season.
Why?
Because that's just we've gotten the only things we've gotten of him this season after like getting
We've gotten so much of him this season, though.
Right.
just being
The dude's
down.
gonna
Yeah,
die
being
this season.
shitty, and then he's gonna redeem himself and probably get next.
Well,
That's
that
what I
sounds-
would guess. If
Crow. See,
But isn't it about that time for like someone important in their group to die?
I feel like it's. I feel like,
It's
I
about
feel like we're
Nora.
getting,
It's about Death O'Clock.
like.
that old lady's probably gonna live.
I
this
hate
long.
that time.
We literally just went back and milked the purity, like.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's time to fucking
Who is it
slaughter
gonna
a new
be?
cow.
Put your bets down.
We need a Deadpool. Dylan.
I say it's not going to be someone on the good side, and I say it's probably going to either be Mercury or Emerald.
But that doesn't really have as much impact.
Right.
I'm
This-
saying, but I don't think anyone in the main
Emerald
cast
needs
is going to die.
Emerald needs to have a redemption arc before she dies.
Yeah.
To actually.
Well, hey, guess what? It could happen at the end of this season.
And so could Crow.
I know. I was just saying that in spite of you guys.
Right. I mean, it would be heavier and more significant.
I don't think it would
if
be
Crow
as
was-
heavy like this season. I feel like he'd need another season before it would be heavy enough. Because the season wasn't like
He's
it.
been in
What?
every season.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
Since season 3.
He was in season 1.
No, he wasn't.
Didn't he?
He wasn't in season 1 or 2.
No.
He was in a
Did
2D
he not show
flashback
up
of
when-
season 2.
Yeah.
And you only saw a silhouette of him.
Right.
No, you're right. I was remembering the time
Piped up at me.
when fucking Ruby ran into Weiss and she got the nickname Craterface. For some reason, I was thinking Crow was there as well.
You're
In spirit.
You're mixing up the schoolyard fight in season 3 with that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yup.
That would be a very interesting scene if Crow was just there, though.
Just watching in
Like-
the background.
What'd you call my niece? Kick her ass, Ruby.
Just sits down and starts drinking.
Pretty much.
No, I feel like he's been too down in the dumps. And plus, I feel like they made it too obvious, like a too obvious, like of a red herring by the intro, showing him get grabbed by all those Grimm and get pulled into the darkness and all that whatnot.
I feel like the Grimm was the apathy.
I mean, that's...
No, those were tentacles going and grabbing him.
I feel like that's more metaphor for his alcoholism and stuff this season. But I don't feel like Crow is one of those characters that's necessarily going to get a heroic end. I mean, he's
his semblance is bad luck. It would seem fitting.
Exactly.
Yeah, he could just stumble into some shitty scenario being too drunk and fucking...
That sounds terrible. That sounds like an awful way for him to go.
I don't think it's going to be like that. I think it's going to be...
And typically when he's in a fight, the bad luck hits his enemy, not him as much as it does.
Well, it's around him, and then he'll put his enemy in the situation that he was in before.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like when he was fighting Tyrion, it's crumbling around him, but then he'll move in such a way that goads Tyrion to be where he was.
But there's some situations, some unlucky situations that you can't get out of.
Right.
And I think that is probably, whether it's this season or after some sort of redemption or whatever, which I think that there will definitely be some kind of rise to glory or whatever for Crow before he dies. He's not going to die at his fucking lowest, but I think...
Do you think his alcoholism is going to play into it?
I don't
think so.
I mean, why not? They've kind of hit heavy on that.
Because that's the exact, like, I feel like that's the exact reason why. I feel like, especially after this last episode and whatnot, the look Crow gave Ruby, like, he noticed how much, like, I feel like that's the first time he's actually noticed how much what he's doing is bothering her. Because she piped up at him, like, I don't care what you think, motherfucker.
I know, I don't care what you think.
Yeah.
Man, that was a fucking great Ruby moment.
Yeah, but his eyes, like, you could see, like, she just fucked him up.
Yeah.
She stabbed him right in the liver. Worse than the booze.
But...
Yeah.
Booze doesn't stab you.
Sometimes it does.
That makes sense.
See, just because an addict can be emotionally aware of those moments, in fact, that's a big part of why they're an addict in the first place a lot of times, because they're too emotionally aware, doesn't mean that they're actually going to do anything about it and take the proper course of action. So it really depends on what Crow does going forward from this point.
I feel like even past, like, I mean, other people have given him a whole bunch of shit about it, but Ruby's never once, like, mentioned it before, or, like, you've never seen her, like, not side, like, I wouldn't say side with him, but, like, be on his team.
She's been...
This season, you've been seeing it. Yeah. This season you've been ever since ever since they figured out about Ozma, like, you've been seeing him, like, that's when you've been seeing him get in the deep dark.
That's what I was gonna say. That, like, this season is when it really took a turn for the worse.
Yeah. Before it was just casual alcoholism, and then
I mean, it's functioning alcoholism that you can ignore because
But right now he's going through a lot because his whole childhood to now has been torn asunder.
Right.
Now the oil light's on.
Yep.
But no, can we talk about that fucking Ruby moment?
Yeah.
Because...
Goddamn.
Yeah.
Showing her stripes.
Straight shonen in there. She went real shonen in that piece. Sure did.
They even did the whole Dutch angle thing. Like,
showing off really all the friends.
Yeah.
I do it for my friends.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
I want to hear him out.
I didn't know she used the phrase, if you think you can keep up with us kids, you're free to join. Even though there's like a fucking decrepit old lady standing immediately behind her.
Oh, when the little baby was like, look at that. It's me every time.
It's pretty good. Oh man, she's like, she fucking laid down the law.
Yep.
She's like, you think we need you, motherfucker?
Yeah.
We've done this without you before.
Is like best stating it. Like, she's not just the leader of Team Ruby anymore. She's the leader of everybody.
Yeah.
She leads the whole staple.
I really love that Ruby found her stride as a leader, leading a different team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of has like to me like a like the Alien Rangers fucking kind of thing. Like the fucking hero goes off with a different team and kind of learns different things and all that stuff.
Right.
Mainly as a fucking tie-in for more toys, but also like or Orange Islands or something like that. Like those kind of side adventures, and then when Ruby comes back with her team. What?
I didn't get either of your analogies.
Power Rangers?
I figured it was Power Rangers and
Pokemon.
Yeah. Orange Island?
Oh, yeah. That was a great series.
Yeah.
I still have that DVD.
There's only one? I thought it was a lot longer than that.
The one, like, my brother and I had, like, you gotta use the remote to, like, click on, like, a different set of islands, so it was, like, one master.
What the fuck? That sounds
cool.
awesome as
Yeah.
shit. It was. I just had DVDs with 2 episodes on it each.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, not DVDs, VHS.
I still have the VHS, but they're, like, in my grandparents' porch. They're on the porch right now.
First episode I ever had was
First 4 seasons of the entire show, actually.
Hitmonchan versus Hitmonlee and Mankey. The Mankey episode.
Nice.
Those are the 2 that I got in my first little pack. The other one was the one with Tentacruel.
Yeah.
Blowing down cities with his big old tentacles.
But anyway,
leadership.
Oh, I thought we were still on the Pokemon thing for a minute.
Nah,
I think it's a mixed bag of learning how to write the character and also developing the character. But Ruby has never been in better form than she is in this season.
You can tell she's been working out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like you said, with her moving on to another team to cut her teeth as a leader, I think that makes a lot of sense because in Team Ruby, she's the youngest, and she has that kind of like respect and a little bit of fear for Weiss at the beginning, and
she also
Blake
has
is
her
just
sister.
Right.
Yeah, her older sister.
So that dynamic is there, and she doesn't know Blake that well, so that dynamic is probably Yeah,
it's strained. It would be hard for her to, excel past a certain point as a leader because she's too close to everybody in a way. Or at least in Weiss and Yang's case. With Blake, it's kind of the opposite.
Right.
But
I feel like a lot goes into the differences between the 2 because Team Ruby, they were in school the whole time.
Yeah.
They only had a couple like outings of being like actually in the danger from that, but Team Junior, from the thick of it, was
they were fucked.
Yeah, they were out in the wild. They were out like doing things where they were probably gonna die.
And in one of the outings for Team Ruby, wasn't Zvi there, and Ruby was chasing Zvi everywhere?
Well, chased him down because that was in Volume 2, at the end of Volume 2, whenever they had this underground base, and Zvi went running off because he heard somebody, and then Ruby saw him, and then they like...
Yep.
Makes total sense.
Yeah, they fell through the ground and found an underground city that was made beforehand, so the old settlers that didn't make it could hide from the Grimm, but they didn't hide from the Grimm and stuff. And
in other words,
Yep. It's a lot easier when I just use sounds. That'd have been a great caveman.
I've always said that about you.
Yeah.
You walk Chuck. I got one last question for this episode. Do you think that they're going to succeed in stealing this plane?
That's a good question.
I don't. I think they're going to fail.
I think they are going to succeed in the fact of like taking the plane. Somebody might be left behind in that. Somebody might get into like injured or some shit. But I think in doing so, they will definitely get the Atlas military on their ass, and then they'll be like chased into some shit, and they'll have to meet up and like explain themselves at some point. Like it'll be a snafu.
I like that idea more, but I was thinking in my head that they weren't gonna get it, or they were gonna be on their way to get the plane. They were gonna get so close, and they were gonna run into Tyrion and.
No, Tyrion's in a different town.
Yeah.
They're going to Atlas. They're in
Cinder though.
I was thinking with Cinder. and
they're in
or
Argus right
Hazel.
now,
Yeah, they're in Argus. Yeah, Cinder and or Hazel would be the people that they would probably run into.
Well, and Neo.
Yeah.
Don't forget Neo.
She's so small, it's hard to see her.
She's so precious.
And Cinder's at fucking Amazon.
She's pretty tall.
She is so tall. She's like, oh god, snoo.
It's not that tall.
Compared
She's
to
also wearing
Neo.
heels.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah, that's fair.
Neo's also wearing heels.
Neo's just tiny.
Neo's just a little.
I love Neo so much.
Yeah, same. She's.
Surprised she can fit in that hat.
I hated that. I don't even know why.
Why? What?
I just said I don't know.
Did you think that hat would be too big?
Yeah, why wouldn't it be?
You said fit in the hat. I just imagine her just like.
Yeah, like all the way. I would expect more than her just like.
I hate that we both just did that.
Yeah, that's the thing, man.
Oh.
Nope. That's not what hats do. That's what the hat do.
I think
Hat full of soup.
I think they're going to make it to
Neapolitan
Atlas.
soup.
You think they're gonna make it to Atlas?
I do.
Okay.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
You look like
Tell
you were
why.
agreeing with me a
Praise
minute ago.
Pray tell.
You said praise
But
hell.
I don't think they're, I don't think they're
Yes.
going to be successful in stealing a plane.
Okay.
But you think they're still gonna make it to Atlas?
I think they'll make it to Atlas, but I think it's going to be because of the military. I think that
Exactly.
Get taken there as prisoner.
Yep.
Oh.
It's likely as well.
it's not entirely what I was thinking either. I was thinking like they're gonna try to steal a plane. They're gonna that's whenever I'm combining all of these bad boys right here. They're gonna try to take a plane, get in the plane, fail to take the plane because Hazel and maybe Cinder and Neo, or vice versa, or all three, and old lady bitch that hates Grim Reaper is going to see all this stuff go down.
Oh, I forgot about her.
Bump those guys off. Get Hazel and them out of there again, and then like punish them, but at the same time understand what they need to do. And now that they're actually inside the military base, give them a little bit more of an ear.
Or like that you could use the distraction of Hazel and or Cinder and Neo being there as a way to get a plane.
I mean,
Take
but
off.
Here's what's gonna happen: Pyrrha and Penny rise from the grave.
And
They're
bring
gonna,
a plane.
yeah, they're gonna flap their arms together while laying on top of each other to let all of Team Ruby and friends
maybe the period.
fly to
They're-
Atlas.
Ghosts are animorphs in the Ruby universe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Fuck you.
I was thinking like the ghost ones.
It's magic. We don't have to explain.
Right.
Could Penny already fly?
Yeah, technically, maybe.
Sure.
She could
Right.
flap all those swords around fast enough to make something happen.
Well, I remember her being in the air like, oh, with the swords coming out of her back at one point.
She could probably helicopter those
No,
swords.
no, it's I mean, she would probably helicopter them, but I was
I mean, like,
she's
so
Spider-Man's.
flight.
She's Spider-Man's with them
you're
because
right.
they're attached on wires.
Yeah.
Spider Penny.
There are strings on her.
Oh, Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Pennyocchio. Yoko Ono.
I hate everything about
Right? This is just
You're just free associating over there? Is that what the show is now?
That was
Isn't
the
that what it's
first
always
word.
been?
We don't just randomly free associate.
He does, apparently.
That came to your mind?
People pay to associate. What, Yoko Ono?
Yeah.
I mean, how did I get there?
Penny.
I imagine- okay.
Pinocchio, Pinocchio.
About 27 years ago, you were dropped on your head.
It's thrown through a glass window. Was that the first word?
Yeah, that.
That was the first word.
When you look like you're about to try out for a baseball team in a 90s fucking Disney movie.
These angels in the outfield looking ass.
Big green looking motherfucker.
Ash Ketchum, I've heard about you. You'll never stand up to my Pidgey.
You pointed at me as if I'm Ash Ketchum, which means you're what? Are you Gary Oak?
I don't know who I am. I'm a nameless Pokemon trainer that
Yeah.
you meet in the road.
Oh, and I beat him.
Yeah, probably. I have a fucking Pidgey, man. That's my best Pokemon. Of course you're gonna beat me. You fucking better. Unless he's like level 100 and I just kept him a Pidgey.
100 Pidgey.
Yeah.
Wait, how do you evolve a Pidgey?
Just normal, just evolution.
Yeah, man. Pidgey.
I mean, I know how they work. Yeah. But you don't have to do anything special with them?
Was it a choice that you got to evolve them in?
Yeah, you could be like, no,
you can choose not to, but the default is to.
That's not fun. I didn't know you could choose.
I didn't either. I thought you had to let them evolve.
I thought it was like a super cool surprise in the midst of watching it happen. You're like, whoa, oh shit, cool.
Yeah, but it is, but you can be like,
but that's not fun. Why would you?
Because once you get to a certain level, then they'll evolve. Not all of them, most of them, but take like Pikachu or any of the starters. There's certain stats that you won't get once you've evolved them. So if you wait a little bit longer, then they'll be stronger when they do evolve.
Oh,
yeah. Or
it's all about that waiting game and knowing the best time to do it.
Right. Or there are some Pokemon that will have a specific stat that goes up a certain amount if they remain at the certain evolution.
Exactly.
And so you can just keep them that evolution forever, and they'll have a super high that stat if you need that in your party.
You look like you should be talking about this right now. That hat is just like fucking nerd.
Yeah, I decided not to evolve my Pidgey.
You look better in it.
Now it's got maximum speed. Pidgey, use fly.
Come on.
Do it now.
I feel like you're about to pop out some Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Now activate my trap card. Black hole.
So.
I'm going to do the rest of the podcast in this voice.
Thank you.
Actually, that sounds pretty fun.
Thank you for watching 50 episodes of that.
50 episodes!
That's half of 100, or so I've heard.
Whoa!
Well, we're going to take a brief break, probably 3 weeks, month. We are going to keep going with the first word because we definitely want to finish out this season of Ruby and be there for the premiere of the second premiere of Genlock. We missed the first one. But make sure to keep watching Life on the Bone Farm, Child's Play, be a teaser for Does It Science in the next couple weeks probably, and then the new season probably February or March whenever we get enough of it done to feel like we can show you. And what else? Make sure to watch the Into Spider-Verse review, and go to our Patreon every month throughout the next year. We'll be doing a live movie review, starting with Glass in early January. So, be sure to watch that. Does It Science Season 1 and 2 commentary coming soon for Patreoners also.
Oh, God.
Patreoners?
Yeah.
I don't know what was more weird to me. Commentary for those? God, I haven't watched those in a long time.
I know, that's what's going to
I've watched Season 2 recently. I haven't watched Season 1 in a while.
I know, that's what's going to make it fun.
Misunderstandings.
And new season of Couch Lock coming soon, and I guess before we go, anybody think of anything there, any movies or shows or things happening in the new year they're excited about? Definitely Endgame.
Oh, yeah.
There's probably a rom-com out there I'm going to want to see.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Man, there's something
about
coming
Mary
out this year that I'm certain we've talked about several times here. Oh, fucking Broly movie's coming out.
Ooh, that's coming out this year, Broly!
Broly!
Yeah.
Hey, Dandy.
Yeah, we'll do a special bonus free review of Broly.
That's gonna be so Broly.
His power is maximum.
So,
You just vomit into your sweatshirt?
No! Oh, God. Maximumer!
you got any last words?
Hey, Dandy,
Oh.
can you do a speak? I don't know that one yet.
Can you do a speak?
That's how he phrases
Normally, if you make barking noises at him, he'll start saying something back.
Was that first one you or Falco?
No, he's a very quiet dog.
Yeah,
he doesn't.
That's okay.
Did you just bark twice at him the second time, or just once?
When we were cleaning out the other house,
the
rabbit room. He just sat in the chair quietly for 2 hours.
Yeah. That's okay. We don't need the other one to. Hey, that's
look at him.
I know.
He's cocking it.
I know. We don't.
Please don't insinuate my dog is cocking anything.
Okay. Anyway. So, we'll be back in a few weeks. Whole new set.
He's right in the corner. It's a door.
Actually, we'll probably see you before then with Glass and Broly. And, of course, the first word next week. But for now, bye.